Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Ray. And so now we have Dora. And are you ready, Dora?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, so Dora is with Honeycomb Credit. So
Hi.
I'm looking forward to hearing from Dora today because this would be my first time hearing. So I'm going to be learning along with everyone else in the class.
Great, thank you, Renee. Thanks again for putting this on today. Thank you, Shoshana and Ray, for coming to the rescue. I'm really grateful to be part of the reformed banker world, as Renee said earlier. So, basically what I want to share today is A, who we are, and B, what our relief loan is, and really just understand that our goal, all of us, our goal is to encourage businesses like yours to find peace of mind through this really uncharted territory. So I'm gonna, for people that are not on video, I'm going to go ahead and give you my, just my information, my contact information, so you have it. My name is Dora Rankin, and my phone number is 440-570-1311. You can find everything you need to know about the relief loan at honeycombcredit.com/relief, and my direct email is Dora, D-O-R-A, @honeycombcredit.com. So just very, very briefly, since we are a newer lending model, I'm going to just go over a little bit about who we are and what we do for people that may not be familiar with Honeycomb Credit. So Honeycomb Credit, we are a debt crowdfunding platform. Honeycomb Credit allows locally owned businesses, Main Street businesses, independently owned businesses, small businesses, to borrow from their neighbors, friends, family, everyday people, and of course your loyal customers in your community. Beyond access to capital, one of the things that we provide when you launch a Honeycomb loan campaign, crowdfunding campaign, is you also receive these things: media exposure, lots of new customers, increased sales revenue, and your investors become your super fans. It's definitely a win-win-win between the community, the investors, and you as a small business owner. As a small business owner, you receive capital with no equity dilution and some big marketing buzz around town. The everyday people that invest in you, they can invest as little as $100. And beyond that, especially right now, we are being overwhelmed with how people in the community can support. We're hearing, how can I buy more gift cards? How can I support these small businesses? Well, this is an avenue and a way for everyday people to invest in their favorite business. And then the community, that is our mission, is to build small businesses through local communities, one small business at a time. So I threw this slide in here because I've been having a lot of conversations with small business owners that are experiencing a lot of fear and a lot of panic, and they really don't know what to do. And I just wanted to put this in here to give you some statistics around why not to push the button with an online predatory lender, that it may be very convenient and it's really easy to get funding, but these are the statistics around it. The average annual percentage rate for a lender that you see right here is 94%. So even if you're in a situation where you can't figure it out, that's why we are here. All of us are here together so you can make smart decisions and access capital still quickly, but also not expensively. So, here's the product. So Honeycomb Credit exists on a normal day basis. Our model is crowdfunding, debt crowdfunding every single day. So we, as a group, decided that we needed to make an impact quickly and help small businesses with working capital loans as well. So we adjusted all of our current rates and lowered them dramatically, as well as lowering our fees. So just to brief you on the product set, option 1 is a crowdfunding loan up to $50,000 that would be used for relief, so working capital of any kind, to relieve you over the next 30, 60, 90, up to 6 months or so. The initial term is 6 months interest only at a rate of 3.75, and then it turns into a 3-year fully amortized loan at a 5% fixed rate, and this is with no prepayment penalty. Option 2 would be for business owners that are looking to set up a Honeycomb loan crowdfunding campaign up to $25,000. The initial 6-month interest-only payment is 3.75%, and then after 6 months, it turns into a 7.5% fixed rate for 3 years. Also, no prepayment penalties. So the difference between the two is the difference in what you personally, as a business owner, would qualify for. So whether, if you've been in business less than 3 years, you would qualify for option 2. Over 3 years, we would start looking at option 1. But as you can see below, there are some other qualifications. So this is our relief loan specifically. If there is a need out there that is separate from these two options, like I said, this is our day-to-day gig, just like the city and SBA. We're here to find ways to help you through this, but we also know that this might not be completely black and white, and you may qualify for something in addition. So, business owners, usually small business owners, have absolutely no time. And right now you do have time. And that's one of the positive things to think about, is how do you use this time wisely and use this time to build a financial plan for yourself, as well as longevity of exposure moving forward. So we are in this together. This is short-term relief, but when you run a campaign, it really is a long-term marketing investment. You are sharing the story with your community. You're sharing what's happening with the people that love you, and you're allowing them to participate and be part. Prior to this, it was be part of growth, and now it is be part to ensure that their favorite business stays their favorite business and stays in Cleveland. So once again, this is my information. I am local here in Cleveland, so I'm available to, typically to meet in person, but I'm also available for individual consults, and you would apply directly with me. Or you can go right on the website and apply.
So are we there?
Did you lose me?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay.
Did your presentation drop?
I think so, but let me share screen again.
Yeah.
I was done anyway. Did you hear, did you get to the end, or did I lose you guys?
They heard you. We got the thumbs up.
Okay.
All right, so here's some questions for you. Wow, they're all coming in really fast. Hold on one second. Will these loan qualifications apply to business owners' credit or business credit?
We look at personal credit.
Okay. Are nonprofits eligible?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Is this for Cleveland only? I live in Akron.
No, it is not for Cleveland only.
Okay. All right. Everyone's cheering like this was good.
Good.
Any other questions for Dora? What is your requirement for credit scores?
Very similar to what we've heard. We don't really have a minimum credit score if we look at credit history and the ability to repay the loan.
Okay. All right. Dora, can you give us your email address one more time?
Sure. It's Dora@honeycombcredit.com.
Okay.
Oh, and one last thing I think I forgot. Turnaround time, we are looking to ensure that businesses have access to capital within 30 days and as little as 10 days, depending on how their campaign goes.
Okay. Any other questions for her? All right, excellent. Thank you so much, Dora. Awesome.
Thanks.
Okay, so now we have our next presentation, I believe, is with Kiva Loan Fund, and that is with Jasmin Dixon. Jasmin, are you ready for us?
I am ready.
Okay.
Okay, just let me share.
Yep, anytime you're ready.
Here. All right. I'm trying to make it, I want to make it bigger so you guys can see. Okay, so my name is Jasmin Dixon. I am the capital advisor for ECDI. ECDI stands for Economic and Community Development Institute. And what we do is we provide small business lending for businesses in all stages, startups, existing businesses, for various things, working capital, leasehold improvements, equipment, things of that nature. We utilize SBA programs in order to disperse those funds to our borrowers because we are not a bank. And so outside of being a small business lender, we also provide various programming. And so we actually utilize the Women's Business Center of Northeast Ohio to provide training, coaching, and other programs. So we host a WBC within our facility to provide those additional things to our borrowers as well. So in addition to being a host for the Women's Business Center, we are also the hub for Kiva. Now, I'm not sure how many people are actually familiar with Kiva, so I'm going to go in a little bit of detail about exactly what it is. But within Kiva, we have partnered with the city of Cleveland, who actually brought Kiva here, Cleveland, and we are acting as the hub. And so basically just what that means is that you have someone locally here who can assist you with any Kiva campaigns. I actually manage the program for the Cleveland market. I have my email there as well, so if you guys have any questions later, please feel free to reach out. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump into what Kiva is for those of you who may not be familiar. So Kiva was actually established in 2005. It's the world's first personal microlending website. Kiva enables everyday people to pool small lending contributions to provide financial access to entrepreneurs across the world. Since its beginning, Kiva has grown to enable over 1.7 million lenders worldwide to lend a combined 1.2 billion to more than 2.6 million entrepreneurs in 89 countries around the world. So these lenders who are providing the funding for these businesses, they're not doing it because there's something that they necessarily expect to get back. They would like to get repaid. That's kind of the idea around it, because it is a crowd lending platform. But they're mainly doing it because they are motivated by the impact that those individual businesses have in their communities. So the thing about Kiva is the way that we structured is that we really want it to be the first step for anyone who is just getting started, or even some people who have been in business for a little bit, but they've never really accessed any funding and they need a little bit of funding to do some things. Our goal is to position people so that they can start taking, steps into other lending platforms as their business continues to grow. What makes Kiva different as a crowdfunding platform? Well, first of all, our borrowers repay the loan that they raise. So it's not a situation where they're just raising funds and they get to keep all the funds. Those are not just donations, those are contributions to a loan that the borrowers have to repay. There's no fees, 0% interest. Our loans are anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000. Although we do have a special product now for businesses that have been impacted by COVID-19. The trick to it is that the borrowers have to raise all of the funds that they are requesting in order to actually get access to those funds. And I can tell you this, 95% of our borrowers who go through the system on a global basis are successful in raising the funds that they need. 20 to 30% of our lenders for our borrowers actually come within their own community. The rest actually comes from a global community. So initially, and I'll talk a little bit more about this later, when a person is starting to start their campaign, they're going within their own network. They're going within their own customer base. They're going within people, around them to get funds. And that's about 20 to 30% of those people who are, are lending money to them. The rest comes strictly from people all across the world who are going online, going to the Kiva platform, specifically looking to provide funding for these businesses who are in need. Now, the way that we support our borrowers and applicants who go through this process is we help them, assist them in editing their profile to make sure it's appealing to lenders, all the global lenders. We get them connected to other resources they may need access to. And then also our campaign tools are like plug and play. So there's not a lot that you have to do. There's questions that you have to answer. There's photos you have to provide. And we set it up so that you can be interactive with the lenders who are on the site who are hoping to contribute to your business. So this is the loan program. So basically the process for the borrower is you would submit an application. They're going to ask you a bunch of different questions, financial questions. They're going to want a picture of you engaged in your business. They're going to hear about your personal story, because remember, impact is a big thing here. They're going to know about your business and what it does. They're also going to ask you for proof of your business, and that can come in different forms for them to verify the business. It could be tax returns. It could be your registration with the Secretary of State, your SS4, which is your tax identification number for the business, things like that. Once you go through that process, your application is then reviewed. It's reviewed by our back office, and it's also reviewed by me as well. And what I'm looking for is anything that would keep you from possibly not getting funded from lenders on a global platform, because all they know is what they see on your profile. So our goal is to make sure that it can be the best that it could possibly be. So once you go through your review and you're approved for a certain dollar amount to campaign for, then you go through a fundraising phase, which we call private fundraising. And this is that initial part where we talk about you looking within your own community and your own network to, provide lending to you. And that comes in, it can be in very small dollar amounts. The minimum that they can provide to you is $25. And the goal is to get anywhere from 5 to 25 people to lend you $25. If you reach that goal of 25 people, if that's the max that you have to do, is that the minimum that you have to do, then you go ahead to the public fundraising phase. The public fundraising phase is where now Kiva is opening you up to the global community. That's that 1.6 million lenders who are out there who are looking to contribute to these businesses. And so this is where a lot of our borrowers really are successful, because if you don't hit the first private fundraising phase where you are going within your own network and you don't get enough of people in your own network to donate or to contribute to you, then you don't make it to the next phase. So the next phase, as long as you make it to public, you're pretty solid. You know, they set it up so that the businesses are pushed to the top so that people can see business campaigns that are going to be closing soon, because there is a time frame. Campaigns are open for a max of 45 days, 15 days for private fundraising, and then 30 for the public fundraising. Once you go through the fundraising, you get fully funded, then you go through your repayment process. You do have to have a PayPal account. They will disperse the funds into your PayPal account, as well as take their monthly payments, which will start the next following month from that PayPal account. Now, things are going to be a little different with the products and services we offer, and even with our repayment process, due to the new product changes we've made for COVID-19. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But before we get into that, I wanted to give you guys an idea of how our loans are structured as far as approving. Our loans can go anywhere depending on different factors from $1,000 to $3,000. And as you can see, it'll tell you like how many people you have to get in private fundraising. So for $1,000 to $3,000, you want to get 5 to 15 people to give you at least $25. For $3,500 to $6,000, you would get 10 to 20 people to at least give you $25. And then for $6,000 or more, you want to get 15 to 25 people to give you $25. And then after that is when you get into the public fundraising. And the term is different for each dollar amount as well. Now, because of COVID-19, we've made some changes to the typical product that you would have just seen. We've expanded our eligibility. So some of the businesses that may not have been eligible before are definitely much more eligible now. Especially, it depends on the impact that this pandemic has had on their business. And then we have also increased the loan amounts that we can offer from $10,000 up to $15,000. The best part about this to me is the grace period. You get up to 6 months, a grace period that you don't have to worry about repaying, because obviously it's going to take some time for people to kind of get back on their feet, and they have things that they have to pay for, but they don't have any incoming revenue. So those are the main differences between the regular products that we offer and now what we're offering for COVID-19. Anyone who wants to apply, they would go to kiva.org/borrow, and they could actually apply right there. The minute that you submit an application, if you're in the Cleveland area or any surrounding cities, I'm going to see your application. So just know that it's not one of those things where it's like, well, should I do it? And I can see it. So if you need some assistance, we can communicate as far as what you need to get your application complete. As far as eligibility, you have to be over 18 years old. You must be using the loan for business purposes. Business must be based in the U.S. Your business must not be engaged in any of the following activities: multi-level marketing, sales, federally illegal activities, and you cannot currently be in a foreclosure, bankruptcy, or under any liens. You also must be willing to demonstrate your social capital by having a small number of your friends and family to make a loan to you. So that's that private fundraising phase. That's really important to your eligibility to get to the public fundraising phase, which is where you get fully funded for the loan. And just real quick, just to give you guys an idea, those of you who can see the screen, about the borrowing process. Literally, it's everything we just talked about. First, you go through the application. They're going to ask you some of these questions here. They want to know about the financial health of the business. They want a photo of you engaged in your business. Then you're going to go through your private fundraising phase, right? They're going to tell you, hey, you got 18 out of your 20 people. They got 19 out of your 20 people. They're going to let you know because people are going on the website and donating or contributing to your campaign. Then you go through the public fundraising and they show you how much you actually have completed to funding. So you have 37% to your funded. So they walk you through. You're not in the dark. You see everything that's going on with your campaign. And then hopefully you get fully funded. And they let you know when you have all the money that you actually requested. The last part obviously is your repayment part. Fixed monthly payments obviously is going to be a lot different right now with the program that we have due to COVID-19, where that 6-month grace period. But typically your loan payment would just start the next month and it would just be a fixed loan payment. That's it. So basically, the main thing is that our loans are 0% interest, there are 0 fees, and we've extended our loan dollar amounts, and we've also extended into a grace period for the purpose of COVID-19 businesses that are being impacted. My information is there. My email is cleveland@local.kiva.org. You can also check out our Cleveland page, which is us.kiva.org/Cleveland/. And then again, if you want to apply, just go to kiva.org/borrow.
All right, Jasmin, you've got a question here. To what extent do you think Kiva's capacity will be diminished as a result of COVID-19? Since folks are more pressed for cash, it might be difficult to emerge from one's own network and then access the public base.
Yeah, I mean, that's an excellent question. I think that it is definitely going to be, it's going to be interesting. And I think people who never really had to utilize social media is really going to have to get out there and use their social network, you know, virtually, because that's just a situation that we're in right now. But there are people who are still willing to help the community. You're talking $25. It's not, it doesn't sound, I mean, it can be a lot depending on the person's situation, but if you get in front of enough people, you should be able to find 20 people to give you $25 if you're really out here and hustling. Because this is a situation that people have to deal with even when we're not in this crisis. I get people sometimes, I had a client who had like 2 days left and was really on a timer, and she still had 10 people to get in front of. And magically she did it. But so this is, it's a normal situation. You just got to really get out here and hustle and utilize, you know, the network that you have, and telling them that this is the situation that you're in. All you need is $25.
That's great. Does anyone on the line who would like to unmute and ask a question of Jasmin? What if you are not back in business in 30 days for payments, as in not sure of the long-term effects of COVID-19?
So the thing about anyone who's applying for any Kiva loans moving forward, it gets access to that 6-month grace period. So that's okay. They put that in place for situations like this because we just don't know when this is going to end.
How is crowdfunding regulated?
So this is structured a little different, and I don't know the exact details of that, but everything, basically, Kiva is the one who's taking on all the legality. Anything that's associated with regulations or something, anything like that, those are not things you guys necessarily have to be concerned about. All you're doing is setting up a profile on their website, telling people what you're trying to do, and then Kiva it's responsible for getting those funds back to each individual lender. It's a loan structured like a loan, like anything else. One thing I can tell you, which is not directly related to the question I was just asked, is from a credit perspective, anyone who may have some credit challenges, this is a program that you definitely want to take a look at, because they really do focus on your character and your business impact and all those things more than they do a credit history. They don't even pull your credit. They do a soft pull. So it's a hard pull. We can still see what's going on. We know what your credit history looks like, but the pull does not affect your actual credit score or your credit history. So if this is something that you think you could take advantage of, I would recommend, you know, looking into it, because it's for people who cannot get traditional lending, even at like an ECDI or some of the other organizations.
And so this also sounds like it's a great program for companies, small businesses to gain some wider attention and get their companies recognized, correct?
Yeah, the marketing piece is the most important piece to me, because a lot of people, I've had clients people who are living in other places are saying, oh, I'm going to be in Cleveland, you know, next week. I'm going to stop by your place and stuff like that. So it really is opening the door, you know, for you all to be able to market your business and what it is that you're doing here in the community.
While also getting access to capital.
Exactly.
Perfect. Someone here is just thanking you for this information. It's very useful to help with the daughter startup. It's right in the sweet spot. Any other questions for Jasmin? Great information, unique, different programs. Sometimes we think When we think of needing access to capital, we want to think about the straight shot, and there are creative programs out here that are available, and Jasmin is one, Honeycomb Credit was another one. So Jasmin, did you have any other closing comments before we move to the next presenter? And if you could share your contact information for additional questions and outreach one more time.
Yes, it is cleveland@local.kiva.org. And the only thing I can say is, for those of you who are thinking about utilizing this program and think that within your own network, you may not be able to get access to the initial, funding that you need, don't be intimidated by that. Try like anything else. The same way you started this business and you didn't know what was going to happen, you should do the same thing for this Kiva campaign if this is something that you think you want to utilize.
Thank you so much, Jasmin. Awesome. And so now we move to our next program, which brings another part of creative lending for our communities. Katie, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, HFLA, Northeast Ohio.
Thank you. Like everyone before, Renee, thank you so much for putting this on, because there's just a lot going on in the world and a lot of stress on our small business owners. So it's great to be here and to be part of the solution with everyone. I want to start briefly by letting everyone know HFLA of Northeast Ohio, we have been in the community for 116 years, although really it's been the past 6 years that we've really tried to increase our impact and really start making more of a difference. And so we were formed by 5 Jewish immigrants. This organization is rooted in Jewish tradition, that to really help someone help themselves, you should do so through an interest-free loan. And although we're rooted in Jewish tradition, we are open to the entire community. And so right now, we kind of, as COVID-19 came about, we tried to think, where can we have the greatest impact for people? And so what we're doing right now is a little bit different than our normal programs, still an interest-free loan, but we're doing a rapid response emergency loan. So these loans are up to $1,500, and they, of course, are interest-free. They are not even we're not even restarting payments until June, and we will be very flexible with those terms, but we're hoping to start payments of $100 a month starting in June. The purpose of these is really to replace lost wages. So I recognize that $1,500 is not going to help your business. This is to help you. Or if you have employees that need to get paid, this is to help them. So this is more or less like a kind of a bridge between now and when things get back to normal. Just as Ray said earlier when he was on, we too are exploring other options. We want to be able to have a bigger impact, let's say, on the business. But for right now, this is our main product that we're offering. So, if you're interested in this, the applications are on our website on interestfree.org. And these are done on a very expedited process, also a touch-free process. So we are typically able to process these within 2 business days. And if you're approved, you will get a check usually between 3 and 5 business days, because again, we're issuing that to you directly from the bank. Everything will be done online, so there's no need to come in, there's no need to physically sign with us or with a notary. We're using DocuSign for that. We want to keep everybody safe during this crisis and still be able to offer some financial support. So another key factor is, if you've heard of us before, you know that our loans normally require a guarantor. For these loans, we're waiving that requirement. We've also made the application a little bit shorter. So again, our website is interestfree.org. It does have these loans on there and the application on there, and you can easily download the application. If you're having difficulty with that, shoot us an email. You'll see on the screen my coworker Brady, his email is up there. You can also email team, like football team, TEAM, @interestfree.org, or simply give us a call. We're all working remotely, so we can take your calls and get you more information. Let's see. I wanted to also mention, someone wrote in the chat before that we're not doing our regular loans right now. That is not true. We are continuing to review people for education loans, for standard loans. If your business is open, we may be continuing to review for business loans. Unfortunately, the bulk of people that are applying for our small business loans are not open at this time. And so for those businesses that are impacted by COVID-19, we're not doing our normal review process for those $10,000 loans until the businesses reopen and we know what's happening with our economy. So those are the main points I wanted to hit on today. Oh, our service area is not just Cleveland. We're over all of Northeast Ohio. So that is as far west as Sandusky County, as far south as Ashland County, and to the east as far as Mahoning and Columbiana up to Ashtabula. So it's everything kind of encompassed in that area, back up to the lake and around.
So a question here, can you apply for emergency loan if you are in the process of obtaining a loan from HFLA when your business is closed?
That's a great question. You can certainly apply for the emergency loan. Our normal rules are that any borrower can only have one loan out at a time. So if you're approved for that emergency loan and you wanted to continue applying for a larger $10,000 loan, you'd simply have to pay off the emergency loan first.
So does that stop the existing loan in process? So if they have an if they had an application in process prior to, but things are obviously stalled, does that stop that application and then they've got to apply for the 1,500, or how does that work?
Because it's a smaller application, I would probably just have them re-sign, and it's totally different. So if you're applying for a $10,000 business loan, that's an application geared more towards information about the business. These loans are all made to you personally. So I would say redo the application, send in the documents unless we have them already, like a tax return or something. But again, just know that that loan, the $1,500, would have to be paid before we move forward on the $10,000 loan when things return to normal.
And can someone use a $1,500 loan, for example, if they're having trouble paying their mortgage payment because of a sudden coronavirus and they've had to close?
Absolutely. The $1,500 we know is to simply replace lost wages. We are issuing those checks just in the borrower's name to them to be used as they see fit. We've heard from a lot of people that are really struggling with paying for emergency childcare or are concerned about their rent or mortgage at home because of the fact that they're losing wages now. So absolutely, you know, we would say make the best financial decisions that you can. And certainly as a former housing counselor, I always recommend paying that rent or mortgage and making sure that you personally are safe. Absolutely.
Excellent. Does anyone have any other questions for Katie? Does this apply to you when applying for ECDI or the Muni loan?
It shouldn't affect you. We often do loans in conjunction with ECDI and with the city. So I would just make sure that whoever you're working with there is aware of the fact that you're applying for the emergency loan with us. I would not want our $100 payments to somehow mess up your debt ratio that they might be using to determine eligibility.
Okay. Any other questions for Katie? And Katie, I'm going to ask you to repeat how to reach out to you for those who may not be on the video.
Absolutely. You can reach us at 216-378-9042. You can email questions you have directly for me to Katie, K-A-T as in Tom, Y, @interestfree.org. And any general questions can go to team, T-E-A-M, @interestfree.org.
Excellent. That's Katie @interestfree.org. or team, as in go team go, at interestfree.org. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. All right, so we're nearing the home stretch, guys. We've got 2 more. We now have our village capital, Arnold Lockett. Are you ready, Arnold?
I'm ready, Renee.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. It's been a long hour, but I want to say this is a fantastic forum. I've learned some good things, and I'm going to be reaching out to some of my partners here.
Excellent.
So with that being said, it's wonderful that I get the opportunity to talk about Village Capital, because most of the time people say, well, who is Village Capital? Well, Village Capital has been around since about 1992. It's a subsidiary of Cleveland Neighborhood Progress. We're currently located in the old St. Luke's Hospital area. For those of you that are East Side or West Side or Clevelanders, the St. Luke's Hospital was a historical place. Many years, I was born there. So the hospital now has been converted into a senior citizen home, not senior citizen home, but a senior citizen apartments, along with the school and the boys and girls. And Village Capital was a part of that financing. So what is Village Capital? Village Capital is a non-for-profit real estate lender. We fund and we work in underserved markets of the city of Cleveland. Village Capital has funded close over $1 million in, I'd say in 210 neighborhood projects. What do? We lend money up to about $500,000 for acquisition, $750,000 for new construction, and then we do some bridge financing from up about $1.5 million. In the last few years, we've been able to push the envelope to do more in dollar amount based upon the impact to the community. So what kind of projects are we looking for? We look for housing projects, affordable and market rate housing. We'll fund commercial facility acquisitions, and then we'll do building improvements. We'll do retail. A lot of times people find lenders are running away from retail. We run to retail because we know how retail impacts the community. Office building, and again, affordable and market rate housing. Village Capital, our rates could be as low as 4% and probably high as about 6%. We are a CDFI. For those of you who don't know what those initials are, we are Community Development Financial Institution. I like to tell people that we are not a bank. We don't compete with banks, but we look like banks somewhat. We're a small group with a big footprint. We're very creative in what we do. You've heard a lot of information today, and for most lenders, and just as Village Capital, will require 3 years of financials, personal financial statement, and a good detailed description of what the project is. One of the things I really wanted to kind of zoom in to the fact is that we're very creative in what we do. I don't have a PowerPoint presentation for today. I wanted to make sure that you know a little bit more about Village Capital, and I'm certainly want to reach out for those who may have a project that needs a little bit more discussion. I'm open for that. Even though we're working out of the office, we're still flexible using our computer equipment to reach out to our clients and keep business moving. Far as projects for the current Corona, we are in discussions with our partners to see how we can play a part in any new product that may roll out as a result of this new COVID-19. So again, we are reaching out to our community to focus and see how we can impact the community. We are a community lender. I don't want to take up a whole lot of time because I know we all been on this conference call for a little over an hour, almost close to an hour now, but I want to make sure that you know that Village Capital is a partner, and we work with our community in underserved markets. With that being said, Renee, I want to just open it up to some questions that they may have about Village Capital. and hopefully those questions can lead into further discussions on a project that may occur.
Okay. So first question, do you have to be located in Cleveland?
Yes, you do. I'm going to say yes, because most of our funding sources are directly from Cleveland. However, we do have one funding source that's out of Youngstown that we will reach out into the Youngstown area, and that's totally tied to the funding sources that we receive to run our program. So ordinarily, we focus pretty much just on the Cleveland area.
Any opportunities for Akron?
We have touched bases in Akron and with funds that we receive from CDFI. Again, those funds are limited, but we're open to discussions. Again, when I say we're creative and open and think out of the box, that's what we do.
What if I want to do a project in Cleveland, but I'm located in Akron?
I'd like to talk to you about it.
Okay.
Again, I want to make sure that I emphasize the fact that we focus in underserved markets in Cleveland. So if you have a project that's going to change the face of our community in a positive way, we want to hear about it. If we can't fund it, we may have a contact of an organization that will fund it. So again, we try to reach out and make things happen in the city of Cleveland.
Other than real estate loans, what other types of funding do you provide? What are your rates based on?
Our rates are not tied to any market rates. Again, our rates are tied to impact. So again, our funding is CDFI funding, along with some of our foundations that fund us. So we have a little bit more control of our lending rates. So I like to, before I tell a client what the rate is, I want to have a clear understanding about how that project impacts the community. That will be directly tied to the rate that you may receive.
Should real estate developers start reaching out to Village if they are impacted by COVID-19?
Yes, and the reason why I say that, because a lot of times, because of our flexibility, again, we're not a bank, so we're not tied to certain market rates or tied to certain bank regs that they may experience. So we have some flexibility.
Will you fund expansion projects to Cleveland?
Yes.
Is this for personal homes as well?
Unfortunately, we don't do the personal homes. We will do development projects that impact an area. The one home, two home, we kind of lean away from that and leave that to the bankers. One of the things that we don't do, we will not do startups, or we can't do working capital. So those are probably one of the things that we can't step out of the box on.
Will you do cash out deals?
No.
Okay. If I've been working with Village Capital recently on a potential purchase of my business property, should I contact Village Capital before I apply for an SBA loan? Will applying for other lending opportunities affect a future real estate loan?
I think you should talk to Village Capital. Again, we don't compete with our banking partners. We partner with our banking partners. However, again, because of we're nonprofit real estate lender, we look at things just a little bit different than banks may look at.
Okay. Do you assist with tax credits?
We have the ability to bridge tax credits, and we have a number of our projects in our portfolio where we've had bridge tax credits.
Okay. All right. So far, that's all I see right now. Does anyone have any other questions for Arnold? This is a very unique program that is not very well known to the market, but it's a great opportunity, especially for real estate. Arnold, can you share your email address?
My email address is alockett@Cleveland Neighborhood Progress, capital C, capital N, capital P.org. My phone number is 453-1458.
Okay. One other question, and we have some more questions. Do you help find buildings and assist with purchases?
Unfortunately, we don't. We don't have the locator to do that within our group. However, we have partners that may be able to assist you. So if there's something I can help you with, I certainly you should reach out to me, and maybe I can direct you to someone that can help you.
Okay. And do you work with flipping properties?
Unfortunately, we do not. Again, we are a community lender, so we want to make sure that we in the market to rebuild certain properties and support home ownership.
All right. Any other questions? If I'm interested in purchasing my building that I already have a business in, will you help with the purchase of that?
Now, I just want to make sure I understand the question. Are they currently leasing the building?
Yes.
And
They have an interest in purchasing it.
And they're located in Cleveland.
Yes.
I can assist them in their acquisition of their building.
Okay. There's your answer. All right. I'm going to ask everyone to email the MBEC office directly so that if you have other questions, we can forward it over to Rodney. What about opening a food truck court and kitchen commissary?
Unfortunately, we don't do rolling stock. If you have a kitchen where you're doing a prep and you want to buy that facility, it's a good chance we can possibly do that. But unfortunately, we don't do rolling stock.
Okay. All right. So is the city, okay, yeah. Kevin Schmatzer just answered that question that the city of Cleveland will fund food trucks. So if you've got a question for that or an opportunity, reach out to Kevin. They will do funding for that. All right, so any other questions that you may have for Arnold or the other facilitators that have presented, if you do not have their email addresses or contact information, here's a general email box to send all of your questions to before our last presenter comes up. It is MBAC, M-B-A-C, at mbacinfo@ulcleveland.org. I did put that in the group chat, so if you did not get an email address, or if you were on the phone and you could not see the PowerPoint, email mbacinfo@ulcleveland.org. And so, my dear friend, Alan McConnell, you are up.
All righty. Good afternoon, everyone. I will share my screen.
We can barely hear you.
Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, you might have to speak a little closer.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alan McConnell. I am with the.
Oh, your phone's it's going in and out, Alan.
Let me see here. Hold on. Is that better?
Yes. Let's just see if it goes in and out. It appears to be going in and out.
Okay. All right. So my name is Alan McConnell. I'm with Minority Business Development Division, and we have some programs that can definitely help. I'm trying to share here. Oh, can everybody see that? Oops, that's not what I was trying to show. Hold on. Oh, man.
You can stop share and reshare.
All right. Let me see here. Okay. That's not it. Okay, is that the?
We have your presentation up.
Oh, okay. You may have to help me out here real quick. And is it up there now?
It was. We just lost it.
Okay, let me try.
I'll pull it up.
Let me try one more time.
Okay.
How about that?
No. Oh, wait, here it is. There it is. Good.
All righty. Okay, sorry about that. I'll move along pretty quickly because I know we're at the end here. So Alan McConnell, Minority Business Development. I'm with the state of Ohio, so I cover all 88 counties, specifically in minority business, and here to help any disadvantaged business that is a certified MBE throughout the state of Ohio. Now, there are some programs that I do have that can help any business, even if you're not certified. So I'll go through these real quick. And then I'll talk about some of the stuff that we have coming up to help, obviously, in this economic crisis. So there are 4 programs that I work with. Bonding program, so any contractor out there that needs a surety bond up to $1 million, that is a program that we have. We are the surety. So if you're a construction company, you need bonding, we can provide that up to $1 million. A minority business direct loan, I heard somebody talk about can we help with owner-occupied property? Yes, we can do that at a 3% rate, fixed for 15 years. And as long as it's owner-occupied within the state of Ohio, we can do that. So let me move that back here real quick. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we can go up to $1.5 million, 3%, fixed for 15 years, owner-occupied. We can do 75% of the purchase price. So we may need a partner to do another 15%. As long as you've got 10% to put down, we may need to get another lending partner to do that 15% or 90% to get us started for bridge financing. And then our last 2 programs here, our collateral enhancement program, I think can directly help in this time of crisis. And also Ohio Capital Access program. So I'll talk about those real quick and kind of move along. I won't spend too much time on the bonding program because I don't anticipate that there are too many contracts being done right now, new contracts that may need bonding. But keep in mind, if you're a certified minority business, we'll go up to $1 million. There's no cost to get into the program. And what it is more like a line of credit. We set you up that you can have surety bonding with us up to $1 million, and it's sitting there for you for 1 year. So if you do need it, if you do need to bond a contract, we will issue you a bond underneath your line. And then there is a 2% premium there. But to get approved, to get set up, to go through everything, there is no cost to get into our program. We just want to make sure you have enough working capital line of credit to cover any startup costs that you may need, pay salaries, and while you're waiting to get paid, especially from a city, state, or federal contract, it may take a little while. And then you can handle that there. It's usually about a 45 to 60-day process of getting this approved. But the good part is once you're approved with us, I can give you a bond instantly. So you could call me on Monday, say I need to tap into my bonding line. I can probably get you a surety bond within 48 hours to bid on a contract. So I'll kind of go through some of that stuff there. We want to see that this is for certified MBEs. So I do underwrite this just like a loan. We want to make sure your financials and taxes are current. We do want to see that you at least been in business for 1 year, and you are obviously if you're an MBE, but you do have some experience completing contracts. And I'll get into our direct loan. So this is a program that can help you if you're looking to purchase some owner-occupied property. I just got 2 companies approved 2 days ago. Even throughout the crisis, we did our meeting by conference call, and got a couple of companies approved to purchase some owner-occupied property. So as I mentioned, we'll do up to 3%. We'll go up to $1.5 million. We'll do 75% of the purchase price. There is a fee, 1.5% fee, but that you don't have to worry about that until we're right near closing. And we do take this to a board where you have to be present, except for a couple of days ago where we did it by conference call. And we can do 75% of the purchase price, like I mentioned. The 2 loans that I did, one was in the Columbus area by a purchase of an existing building that the client was in. They were leasing space in it. We did that for $720,000. And then I got another loan approved in the Dayton area. A gentleman he's a commercial contractor, commercial cleaner, and he purchased the building just across the street from where he's leasing a Dayton Public Library, an old Dayton Public Library. And he's going to purchase that for about $170,000, although it's worth a lot more than that. So those are the type of things that we can do. We can partner with a lending institution if you're going to do any construction, because we're not a bank either, but we just make a one-time payment. So if you need to do construction or renovation, we can get a finance partner involved. For the last 2 deals I just mentioned, we are using Feurst Financial Bank, and then we're using Security National Bank or Park National Bank. So they'll be our bridge lender, and then we'll be the takeout financing. This program is good for equipment as well. If you're a certified minority business, we'll do 3% up to 10 years on equipment. Typical bank financing is about 5 to 7. So this will do, it does not do rolling stock, but it would do construction equipment with 4 wheels. So if we've done dump trucks, cranes, things of that nature, but it will not do rolling stock like a box truck, a van, or any other vehicle that you're going to use for your business. All righty, as I mentioned, it's got to be owner occupied, but you're more than welcome to, as long as you're in 51%, and if you want to lease out the remaining 49% to tenants and get your mortgage paid that way, you are perfectly able and acceptable to do that. We just want to make sure that the building cash flows and that we're not strapping you for cash. And so usually at 3% fixed for 15 years, I'm often saving people money on their existing leases by purchasing property. So that's a fantastic deal for them. We just want to make sure taxes and financials are current. All righty, so this is kind of like a program I think that can immediately help a lot of people on the line. Is our collateral enhancement program. It's been around for a number of years. We originally got federal money back in 2010, about 35. We got about $55 million, and we took about 35 of that and created this program where we can go out to a bank. The bank could come back to us and say, you know, we want to lend to this borrower, but we just don't have enough collateral. So what we'll do is make a deposit into the bank. So it's a cash deposit. So immediately when the loan closes, we make a cash deposit. Banks love deposits, and then the borrower has additional collateral for the loan. So we've done this program for now about the last 7 years. We've gotten probably getting close to $50 million out the door, and we don't control the rate and the term, so the bank determines that. What the rate is. The term can only be up to 5 years, but it can amortize longer if it's real estate or a line of credit. I'll kind of give you an example here. This program can help any company. So if you're not a certified minority business, what we'll do is make a deposit up to 30% of the loan to help out if there's a shortfall in collateral. And if you are a certified minority business, we'll do 50% of the loan. We'll help that out in terms of collateral. So the only thing that we're not in love with is restaurants. So we will only do 15%. We've done well over 400 loans, about maybe 4 or 5 have gone bad. We've had to do, recoup the deposit or let the deposit go back to the lender. And those 4 or 5 have been restaurants. And so we're only going to do 15% for restaurants. Want to make sure that you at least have 2 years of experience and you've got a good track record, at least running a restaurant business or managing a restaurant business. All righty, we will do a maximum term up to 15 years for real estate, up to 70 years on equipment. This does work for lines of credit. So if you walk into the bank and ask for a line of credit and you don't have enough collateral, which happens quite a bit, we will deposit up to 50% of the loan in the bank so that you can get a line of credit. And that deposit is good for but really 2 1-year renewals. So basically 3 years, the bank can keep that deposit. We don't control the rate, as I mentioned, so the lender determines that. But what do you care? You get the money, and if you do well, you can re-amortize it or refi the loan. So I always tell people, don't worry about the rate. Just be happy that we're able to help you and worry about that later if it's an initial line of credit. I'll give you a quick example here. You can see that on your screen. So let's say this is a line of credit. You walk into the bank. You need a $350,000 line, but you just don't have enough collateral. But you do have some collateral available. And I will say that you have to present some collateral to the bank. So you can't walk in totally unsecured, but you have to give them something, and then we'll help out with the rest. So $350,000 line. You've got $200,000 of accounts receivable, and let's say you've got $50,000 in equipment. So most banks will advance you 75% on receivables. So they'll say, okay, We got 150 of collateral there. And then let's say this is used equipment. So most banks will probably lend you a little bit more on new equipment, but let's say this is used equipment and they're only going to advance you 50. So they're going to tell us, state, we only have 175,000, but we want to lend them 350. Can you help us out? Now this example is a perfect fit because the company is a certified minority business. And so we will deposit 175,000 into the bank. And so they've got a collateral of, the bank has a collateral 175 from us, 175 from the borrower. So they've got a complete collateral on the loan and everybody's happy. There is a fee. I'll go back up here. So there is a fee. There is a 2% fee on the deposit. That is charged to you, the borrower, but you can get that from the loan proceeds. So you do not have to write us a check. The first proceeds or the first draw that you get from the bank, they'll take out that $3,500. Now you'll just pay that back over the life of the loan or whenever you pay down the line, but you do not have to write us a check for that 2%. All righty, if you are going to purchase a piece of property or equipment, we do want to see that you have 10% down. Most banks are going to ask for 20, so using this program could save you some down payment. We do want to see that there is one job created for every $50,000 that we get out the door. So if you're a two-man company and you're going to ask for $1 million, deposit, we want to see that you've got, it's going to be kind of unrealistic that you create that many jobs. So we may have to back down our deposit to make sure that you have at least one job created or retained for every that $50,000 that we get out the door. This is not for nonprofit, so it's for profit only. And for revenues up to $20 million. Have not crossed that threshold too often. All right, so this is the companies that are eligible. We can do, as I mentioned, owner-occupied property, working capital. This can work with rolling stock. So if you do have that vehicle, that box truck, a van, this will work. If the lender wants to lend that to you and say they don't have enough collateral, we'll help out on rolling stock. We'll help out on startup costs, franchise fees, and we'll also help out if you want to refinance your debt. So if you want to take your debt from Huntington to Fifth Third and there's not enough collateral, we can do that as well. Things we cannot do is we cannot do investment property, and we can't do the lender's existing debt. So a bank can't just take a loan out of their portfolio and say there's not enough collateral and put it into our program. We can't do taxes. So if you're trying to pay or refinance your taxes, we cannot do that. And we have to make sure that there is a collateral shortfall. So a bank can't come to us and have maybe somehow you've got enough cash to put into the deal. So you got 80% cash and then they come and want 20% cash from us. That's completely cash secured deal. We can't do that. So the bank has to have some exposure other than cash into the deal. And also for the SBA. So for this program, it's either us or the SBA. So we can't back up an SBA loan with the collateral shortfall. So it's either our product or SBA. We love the SBA, but we can't mix the two on the unguaranteed or the uncollateralized portion. Eligible businesses must be in Ohio. I kind of mentioned about restaurants, and revenues have to be at least $20 million. Some of the ineligible businesses, as I mentioned, investment real estate companies. I got illegal activities on there. I don't know why I put that on there, but we don't have illegal activities, can't do gambling. And as I mentioned, we can't do nonprofits, so churches can't be there as well. We've done, this is kind of outdated, so we probably got maybe 25, getting close to $30 million available of funding. So as the loan pays down, we get that deposit back, so we have money to recycle out into the program. We're probably getting closer to 450 loans out the door, probably closer to $50 million in deposits that we've made. And we're probably getting close to about $200 million. Let's say banks have lent out $200 million. Our $45 or $50 million has supported that much in bank loans. And we worked with well over 44 lending institutions. ECDI, which is on the line here, we've probably done the biggest volume of loans, probably well over 100 loans with ECDI. And Fifth Third is the biggest volume, probably between 10 and $11 million of deposits over at Fifth Third. So it can work with CDFIs. This can work with credit unions. As long as you're an accredited lender in the state of Ohio, we can help you out if you got a collateral shortfall for a client. I'll touch on this real quick. Our Ohio Capital Access Program is a little bit different. It's only for banks. The bank establishes just one account, and then we can make deposits into that for a borrower. So not as popular as our collateral enhancement. It does work for certified minority businesses. We can do 80%, but it has to be for a bank that's signed up into the program. The other one, we can just do a transaction if the bank wants to just do one and they don't have to sign up. It can just be a one-off deal. And if you're not a certified minority business, we'll just do 10%. So don't worry about all those definitions on which one is best. Usually I just ask the borrower what they need, and then I try to fit that into whatever bank that they want to work with, and we'll pick one program that works best. So don't worry about trying to memorize all that information. That's really about it. I'm gonna open up for questions. One thing that I will mention back on our direct loan, we do have about, I'll go back here, we've got about maybe 13, 14 clients right now, maybe getting close to maybe about 20 borrowers that we have. We sent out letters yesterday, and we have suspended payments to all our direct loan borrowers for 6 months. So anybody in our program does not have to make a payment to us for 6 months, and then we will revisit after that, because we realize that this is going to take some time to ramp up. So people were very happy with us that they're not going to have to make any payments after April 1st. So that's a good thing. Also, we are working on a microloan program. I don't have the dynamics of that just yet, but we will have something out for the agency, and obviously that will include minority businesses as well, that will have microloans, maybe up to $25,000 to $50,000 to get out the door too. So for business that need assistance quickly. So that's coming up. I don't have the details, but you'll hear about that in the next few weeks. So we're thinking about stuff that we can do to kind of help people out during this time. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Anyone have any questions for Alan? I think there's one here. How soon will you find out if you've been approved if working through the state of Ohio?
Well, for collateral enhancement, or which program? Because for the bonding program and direct loan, I underwrite those and get you approved directly. So that's about 30 days. For the collateral enhancement, that's through the bank. I can work with the lender, but we've gotten deals approved as fast as 48 hours. But usually it's as fast as the bank wants to lend to you. We're at the mercy of their underwriting if it's the collateral enhancement or the Ohio Capital Access loan.
What about the direct loan?
That's through me. So that's usually about 30 to 60 days. And most times, 9 out of 10 times it's real estate. So you've got a little bit more time. But that's usually about 30 to 60 days. I just did one here. It took about 45 days, which is pretty quick. And they're getting ready to close next week. So that's about a 45-day deal. So, if you're purchasing property, at least plan for 30 to 60 days.
How do we apply?
For the bonding and direct loan, you apply through me. If it's a collateral enhancement, let's talk, and then I can hook you up with the bank in the area. Renee and I have gone out on several calls, and we've hooked up some borrowers with lending institutions. And so depending on where you are, since this is mostly Cleveland based, I may lean on Renee to help us find a bank that we can talk to and go over the program with. Okay.
And do you do surety bonds for a contract as small as $4,000?
Yes. Now, I would not approve a bonding line that small. So I would say at least let's get a bonding line of between $50,000 and $100,000. But then if you need a surety bond of $4,000, we can carve that out. But we're not going to approve a bonding line just for $4,000. Kind of want to at least get you started out between $50,000 and $100,000.
Will you do working capital for up to $250,000?
Through a lending institution, we will. I don't believe our microloan program we're working on, it's probably not going to go that high, probably between $25,000 and $50,000.
Okay. Let's see. Any other questions coming in for Alan? Okay, let me put Alan's information. What all do you cover for a franchise?
For a franchise, that's probably going to lean on the lending institution, but we can cover any shortfall. Actually, I'm working with one right now in the Columbus area. So I'm taking him around to a credit union and a couple banks and trying to get him financed. And there will be a shortfall with him, so we can help out if it's 30 to 50% shortfall.
So Alan, can you clear this up? It sounds like there's a little confusion that that you only do construction. So can you clarify that?
Oh, no. For which program? Any of them?
Yeah, any of
Oh,
them.
no. No, we don't just work with construction companies. I've just got a commercial, like I said, I just got a commercial cleaner approved the other day. I've got a asphalt company approved. So construction companies most often need bonding, but I've got some IT companies that have needed bonding. So no, it does not matter that you're a construction company. Any business will do, and we'll take a look at.
Must there always be a collateral shortfall?
To do the collateral enhancement program, yes. There must be a shortfall there. Now, it may be able to take it through the Ohio Capital Access Program if there's not, but we can talk about that offline. But yes, there has to be a shortfall for the collateral enhancement program.
That's a great program, by the way.
Hmm.
Anyone else with questions for Alan? These are really great questions. Okay. Yes, are you able to help small businesses?
Definitely. That's all I help with. In a small business, anybody probably less than $20 million. And I rarely have companies even above 10 million. So definitely help with small business.
Hair salon?
I have worked with some, yes. I've gotten a barbershop, I've gotten a barbershop approved and worked with a couple hair salons, yes.
Okay. All right, let's get your breweries. Will you do
I have looked, yes. It didn't go through. They got financing. I think they didn't need financing, but I was working with a microbrewery here in Columbus, and we were on the verge of getting them some capital, but I think they did something else, but that is not ineligible. I will work with a brewery.
Is a party center considered a restaurant for this deal?
No, it is not. I've looked at one that's tricky, but no, it's not considered. But it may be considered. It may be considered investment property because of the way that it operates. So that's something we can talk about, but it's not considered a restaurant.
Radio. Will you do radios? Will you finance a radio station?
A radio station? Sure. I have not had one yet, but yes.
Okay, well, we have one.
Oh, okay.
Does previous or current factoring of invoices adversely impact my loan opportunity?
Definitely not. I've taken people from factoring to a line of credit at a bank using the collateral enhancement program, and they are very happy to not pay 3 to 5% on those receivables every time they submit an invoice.
Can you speak to how this impacts or how you look at credit scores?
I don't look at credit score, so I'll just be frank with you. The bank does, but I don't pull credit scores for the bond or the loan. For the direct loan, what I do is look at your tax returns, personal financial statement, debt that you have. We pull taxes, so if you owe the state tax money, it's kind of hard for us to lend you money. So we do enough where I don't have to go and say, okay, you got a 650, we can get you approved. Usually I have a pretty good idea by the time we go to loan committee.
Okay. All right, I'm not seeing any more so far. All right, Alan, can you give us your email address and contact information verbally?
Sure.
And we do have another question that just came in. So while you're
see what delivery companies?
Yes.
Delivery companies, I need working capital. Sure. Are they box trucks or are they vehicles? We can kind of help with that. I'm assuming it's something like that.
Yes, he's a commercial delivery
Okay.
company
Uh-huh.
with very large contracts.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to talk to you. So yes, I see the last one there. Nonprofits. Nonprofits can work through the Ohio Capital Access Program. So not the last program I talked about that I covered real quick. If you can be a nonprofit and we can help you there, it would only be a 10% guarantee, but that program will help for nonprofits.
Okay. Do you have to be a U.S. citizen for minority certification?
Yes.
Yes.
And real quick, to be a minority business, you have to be 51% owned by African American, Asian American, Latino, Hispanic descent, or Native American. So if you're 51% owned and controlled by one of those ethnicities, you are eligible, and you've been in business for 1 year, you're eligible to be certified. I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah, how do you certify? So the Minority Business Assistance Center here on the line, we are the host of this workshop today. When I started, one of the 4 pillars of our center is certifications. And the state of Ohio actually mandates part of our job to ensure that businesses across the region obtain the necessary certifications to bid on contract opportunities. And that includes not just race-based certifications, such as the MBE. It includes WBE, Women Business Certifications. It includes VBE, Veteran Business Certifications, as well as EDGE, Encouraging Diversity, Growth, and Equity. And that one is just a socially and economically disadvantaged certification. So if you have assets under $250,000, you are eligible for the EDGE certification as well. And we have many businesses that take on multiple certifications based on whatever their status is. We have a monthly certification workshop to educate you on how to obtain that. And I will provide information at the end of this on how to apply for that workshop. Are women-owned businesses eligible for the Ohio Capital Access Program, or CEP? Yes. I am a certified MBE. I own a boutique and event center. I need a line of credit. Is there assistance for my business? So a line of credit, Alan, you want to speak to that?
Yes. Boutique line, yes. We can still help. Like I said, that is still through a lending institution. So we have to partner up with a lending institution that will help us lend to you. I assume that there was going to be a shortfall depending on how much you're asking for, and that's where we can help. One thing I'll say is that with a boutique or a salon, obviously, we hope there's not cash under the table. So if your tax returns have the full amount of income, that's really helpful in terms of getting you approved. The barber salon I work with in Wilmington, Ohio, I was leery of his tax returns, but when he pulled them out, he recorded everything, and we were able to get that loan approved in about 2 days. So there wasn't a lot of cash, every bit of cash he received was in his tax returns, and we were able to get him financed quickly. He opened up another shop just another town away, so that was a good deal for us.
Do you assist veterans? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any other questions for Alan? All right, Alan, can you share your contact information?
Yes. So my email is Allen, ALLEN, period, MCCONNELL, Allen.McConnell@development.ohio.gov. I can be reached at 614-752-4833. And you can't come visit me right now, but we'll do that later on.
All right, excellent. So I'm going to share my screen one more time. I do want to share some important information with everyone that is coming up. We want to thank Alan for everything that he has stated during his presentation with access to capital. Some closing comments. Shoshana, if you're out there, if you want to speak to one more time to these workshops that are available for your center as they have tied into the topic conversations today is the next step. Is she there? Okay. So I will speak for her. The Small Business Development Center, she mentioned that there are a number of webinars that are available to follow up on. If you are looking for the SBA Economic Disaster Assistance Loan, Ray will be speaking again on March 31st at 12 p.m. as well as April 7th at 7 p.m. You can sign up at ohiosbdc.org. Shoshana, go ahead. You can take it. Okay. We can't hear you. The other thing that she has is sustaining your business during an economic downturn. That is March 26th at 7 p.m. and April 2nd at 7 p.m. You can register at ohiosbdc.org. Okay. And then final, we had a lot of questions about certifications. The Minority Business Assistance Center Director, I myself speaking, we have a pre-certification workshop scheduled on how to become certified for contract opportunities with the city, the state, and the federal. You can register at Eventbrite, that will begin April 8th at 10 a.m. It will be a virtual workshop for you to take advantage of, and you can sit in your home and learn more about the certification process. We do have certification experts that will be on the line from the state, the city, and the federal on how to obtain their certifications. I did see someone ask to see Alan McConnell's information on the screen again. I have just provided that. Alan McConnell, Manager of Business Solutions, alan.mcconnell@development.ohio.gov. Okay. All right. If there aren't any more questions, we want to thank all of you for attending this workshop today. Mary, I see your chat previous slide. Which slide are you looking for? I want to make sure you are able to get the information you do need. If you have further questions, please email info@ulcleveland.org, and we will triage the questions to the various presenters that have spoken today. If you find that you had another question, you want information on workshop opportunities, or to get one-on-one technical assistance through this process, we are here for you. Let's connect, let's talk, let's schedule that one-on-one in that meeting. Thank you for joining. Oh, and the presenters, folks have been asking, can they have access to your PowerPoints? Alan is nodding yes.
Yes, Dora's saying yes.
Yes, Dora saying yes. Katie, you didn't have one, but we can send information. SBA will work with Shoshana and Ray. I'm not sure if Ray is still on. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.